Hey everybody, it's your buddy Beard Grizzly. Yes, it's another EFRIDEET video. Yes, we have something more to talk about with her, and a lot of it is actually kind of, well, it all went in a direction I really didn't expect, that's for sure. My intent for this video, however, I intend on covering more about EFRIDEET than just the new stuff. Let's chronicle her path from start to now as best as we can. If you're not familiar with EFRIDEET, then, well, you probably haven't been around this channel for that long, but you'll be curious who she might have been after reading over a couple items in Destiny 2. The first one might have been the scout rifle from Iron Banner with her name on it, called the Guiding Sight, which reads, "Forged in honor of EFRIDEET, and all that inspires." The second, if you're lucky enough to grab one or checked Eververse, is the Cosmos shell. We'll get to that one as soon as we can, however, but if you've already read over it and you have no idea why the name is important, then this one's for you. Well, it's also from everyone else, and oh, never mind. EFRIDEET is from an old group of Guardians called the Iron Lords. These were basically Guardians before Guardians were Guardians, which makes them Guardian hipsters? And I guess the Warlords were the establishment? Never thought of it that way. Anyway, in the early days of the Dark Ages, the time after the collapse where humanity was just struggling to hold on, old faces started to be revived by what we would later call ghosts. These Risen would start to hold territory over different areas on Earth. This sparked territory war after territory war, which put humanity in another state of fear, not too dissimilar to that of the collapse. These Risen were granted powers that none had seen before, and they were valued as protectors due to the threat of the Fallen that were pillaging most of the Earth. The trouble, of course, is this kind of turned into a mafia-style arrangement, and the people had to pay protection money and give offerings for the now referred to warlords to actually help the people. That is as brief as I can sum up the Dark Ages, I think. But before I get told by vets that I'm covering too much of the old stuff, let's keep going. The Iron Lords formed themselves under the leadership of Radagast. They too were Risen, but they were being collected for the express purpose of protection, asking nothing from the people that they protected, ending the rule of those whom would not join them. This led to at least a few ghosts in Risen that we know of being lost to this kind of infighting amongst ourselves. EFRIDEET happened to be one of them, brought on board with the Iron Lords perhaps soon after the Iron Lords were formed. There are grimoire cards that outline this, along with some of her other interactions, but I'll read a few snippets here to give you an idea of her character. The first comes from the Lady Yolder card, where Yolder is gearing up to do battle against another warlord. Perun leaned against the doorframe. Saladin and EFRIDEET both volunteered to be your second. Yolder took up a pair of gauntlets out of the chest and put them on. Saladin's better at staying calm under pressure. We need a second, it's 'cause you're dead. No one will be calm. Right, EFRIDEET then. She fights better when she's angry. Here we see that EFRIDEET has a bit of a hot streak, either quick to anger or vengeful of what it is she's fighting for. She's also a trusted member within the Iron Lords, enough to be considered a second in a very important combat match. The next comes from the Lord Yelian card, where we start to see her interact a bit with the other lords and ladies, while Lord Fellwinter is, talking to someone. Yeah, we'll go with talking. He flips Occam and throws it. The knife clatters off an Ahamkara vertebra. He flips Quietus and shanks and pikes EFRIDEET. Oh, that's the last yip it's yipped, she says, picking up the coyote jaw that Quietus impaled. Helmet, would you say? Too brittle. Etherbone's better. Flexes. The others follow her in, wrinkling their noses. Usually they avoid his dim and earth-smelling den. Their presence suggests that Fellwinter is doing something unpleasant, probably involving screams. Bone, Saladin says. Not carbon bronze, not plasteel. Bone's always available as a last resort. Nothing else is. This is doomsday thinking, Yolder says, kicking aside fragments of bone. We have your back. Our plate is strong. When will you need scavenged armor? If all of you were cut down around me, your light drained past return and my own armor was shredded, for instance. There's a long silence. You always know what to say to make us feel better, EFRIDEET says. That's one of my favorite sections to read of a card, so thanks for putting up with me for a bit for that one. It does go to prove that EFRIDEET's a bit more light-hearted than some of the other Iron Lords, however, and definitely questions what's going on with crazy Galleon. Truth be told, I would have liked to have known more about him, though. But like-minded crazy people aside, we see that there's a fight upcoming soon for the Iron Lords, one that might be key to their overall survival later on. This fight that is outlined in the Lady Scory card could have been against Siva for the first time, which, well, there's more on that, but I need another 20 minutes to ramble about that topic for sure. EFRIDEET, however, well, I'll let this speak for itself. This would be a lot easier if you would all run your names by me before you got 'em. Scory puts the pen in her teeth and crumples up a piece of paper. It joins dozens of others on the floor, keeps muttering to herself. Fellwinter, Radagast, Galleon, hell, even EFRIDEET, not that she's likely to get a verse now. Haven't seen her in weeks anyway. Bunch of dactyls, all of you. Lady EFRIDEET seems to have gone missing. To those familiar, you know how this story ends. You know the Iron Lords fall victim to Siva in the battle. You know that things don't wind up so well for all but Saladin. Every other Iron Lord is presumed or confirmed dead. The former is where we speak of EFRIDEET. After the second encounter with Siva by our guardians about a year or so ago, EFRIDEET returns to the Iron Temple in order to assist Saladin within the Iron Banner. She came back every month after that to repay and fulfill her duty to the Iron Lords, breaking her personal exile that seemed to go on for centuries. Stories, however, were told of EFRIDEET throughout the tower. A city favorite is that of when she threw Saladin at a wolf walker. They say she threw him like a javelin. You know what, maybe Shax tells this a little better than I do.
So Lord Saladin and Lady EFRIDEET. He'll hate that I'm telling this story, but Lady EFRIDEET. I like Lady EFRIDEET. She tells me everything. We like our stories, and we like our helmets. So, EFRIDEET, she lifts Saladin over her head. And she says, I never miss. She lifts him over her head, and she throws him. And he cranks his fist of havoc. Their combined arc energy singing like a drawn sword. 20 miles down, he plummets into a fallen walker. He's like a cannon shot out of a friggin' anti-aircraft gun. Everything explodes. Her ghost was laughing when she revived him. They saved a whole village of people. This was the Dark Age. They had those villages. I miss those days. I miss Lady EFRIDEET.
She was very missed by those that knew her, and judging from the earlier flavor text of the guiding sight, she inspired much within those around her. Many were lost in the fight against Siva, but EFRIDEET seemed to hold a special place in the hearts of those that were around her. But now the questions spring up. Where did she go? What was she doing all this time away from the tower when things weren't going the greatest? How did she keep herself a secret? Well, we got a few of these questions answered, but for the most part, her time out in space has remained a bit of a mystery. Do you have any idea how much scholarship will have to be revisited now that EFRIDEET is alive? Goodness, the archival revisions alone. But why won't she discuss the circumstances of her mysterious departure? She seems quite eager to overshare on every other topic. Tyra Karn. And that's just what the Vanguard, Tyra, and many others had asked her, wondering what it was that she had done previously, where she had gone, who she was with, which she lets slip a bit for us in the Iron Banner. And do you feel your light is stronger now? Remember, light is so much more than just a weapon. It took stepping away from war and many long, difficult years for me to learn that. Now I have a whole family of guardians in the outer system who believe the same. And before you ask, no, I won't tell you who they are or where. I chose to return. I cannot risk someone forcing that choice upon the others. Lady EFRIDEET. I heard rumors about guardians running away to the Outer Rim. Dissenters, bug huggers, pacifists. Never gave it much thought. Surprised people like that could have stayed hidden this long. Shiro 4. Time after time she returned to the Iron Temple to help Saladin, but time and time again she would give no word on the others she was with. They were her family now, and she seemed more interested in protecting their wishes to not fight, to live as they chose, than to fight alongside those she was risen with. Some call her deserter. Others understand her wants to protect those she has given time to. Others still have no idea she's returned. But after this, it seemed like she just vanished again. No word from anyone that knew her. No sense that she even existed after the fall of the tower. No idea where EFRIDEET went. On a personal level, my personal level, this made me sad, upset. She was my very, very first lore topic to cover and helped me to connect with so many of you. It led to 2 videos that I still believe in passionately, that still hold this and many other characters to a level that they deserve. Perhaps I did just need to give Bungie a little time to give us what I needed to know about EFRIDEET. I'm an emotional person about many things, and those emotions can run far too high at times. Perhaps it's a reminder to some of us that it will take time for the stories to be fleshed out, and perhaps, for others, it's a sign that their faith is, even in small part, rewarded. Because is it ever with the Cosmos shell added in Season 2 and Curse of Osiris? The old doubts came back when the light went out, but the iron in her bones, worn and rusted as it was, never buckled. The light was gone, but holding a sniper rifle still felt right. She marched into the city beneath a refugee's hood, took up a roost in the building with the White Rabbit, and killed 216 Cabal with 199 bullets. She cried when the Traveler woke before her eyes. At her hip, a radio blinked to life. It had gone quiet when the Red Legion attacked. She answered it with trembling fingers. "I know," she said. "I can see it. I can feel it." "Even the stars are brighter now," said the voice over the radio. "The whole cosmos is ablaze." She closed her eyes. "I can't wait to see it. I'm coming home. EFRIDEET out." Perhaps not the way I would have wanted to see EFRIDEET be introduced, but that's personal bias. That's me wanting to see every character shown in-game to get a chance on screen either again or for the first time. But this tells me enough. More than enough, for now at least. EFRIDEET has a backbone. EFRIDEET has a will of her own to do what it is she needs to do. She lives and was born in iron, standing against the people and foes that threatened her the first time, either in pacifism or in actual combat. Anyway, enough trying to sell this character to you. You either like her or you're wrong, I find. I mean, you don't, you're not wrong. Oh heck. Recall everything we just covered about EFRIDEET. She left the Iron Lords to go and be a pacifist on the outer rim of our solar system. She was just as affected by the light being cut away from the Traveler like our Guardians were. She felt lost, almost like that of Zavala and Ikora, being disconnected from the light. Feel those doubts of what she had done, leaving the tower and Earth behind to focus on being peaceful with others, creep into her lightless self. Her ghost is something that she speaks of highly from the old Iron Banner, telling us to treasure our ghost as sometimes they're the only light we have in a dark time. Being so connected to her ghost, was this her reason to break her bond of pacifism? EFRIDEET enters the city of her own accord. She dresses as a refugee to keep in cover of darkness and to keep her presence relatively unknown. That and to hide the sniper rifle she carries, of course. EFRIDEET was known as one of, if not the, best marksman of the Iron Lords. Taking up a high position, she starts laying lead into the Cabal while we assault the command ship, taking Gaul out and releasing the Traveler from its prison. She was there, supporting us, fighting with us, all while breaking the new bond she had sworn to uphold, that violence is not the answer. She hunted. She helped us. She protected us with her own reasoning, with her own mind. She returned to help what she once swore to protect. But when all's said and done, her new associations are where her heart now lies. She witnesses the Traveler awaken, cries at the sight, and returns home to her new family. The darkness that had been slowly encroaching on our system was pushed back even further. The light of the Traveler had once again graced the Risen with the power it had centuries ago. Of course, new questions can be asked. Is this the end of the tale of EFRIDEET? Is this the last we'll hear of her and her new family? Is this the end point in a story where we continue to grow our rekindled light? She stands as a stark difference compared to us, pushed to save ourselves through increasing our power levels, versus pacifism and nonviolence. Then again, perhaps hers will be the way to help us end the conflict that exists in our system, being able to continue on with our lives in a different manner than what we've thought was the only way. In either event, it seems the other bug huggers on the edge of the system are alive and well, having kept hidden from the Cabal and their takeover of the system. The questions still remain, of course, of where they are, how they keep so silent from the rest of us. At least now, I can set the story down and know EFRIDEET is alive. That'll conclude my tellings of the events as they are with EFRIDEET, at least for the time being. I'll be looking for this building with the white rabbit the next time I can get into the final mission with Gaul. Perhaps we'll even see EFRIDEET if we pay enough attention. If you have anything to add to this account of the Iron Lords, EFRIDEET, or anything else, you know I'll give it a read down below. You know the other buttons to press to let me know if you liked this or didn't, along with the subscribe button for more thoughts from me on Destiny and other titles. Until next Spacetime Guardians, take care of yourselves.